Great. Let me put my
Right. So we are live.
All right.
Cool. All right, so we'll give everybody a few minutes to kind of make their way in, get situated.
You heard me.
No, what'd you say?
I said the Instagram folks are getting a better view of all my Howard buttons.
Oh, yeah, you got the live going?
Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Right.
Hope y'all are ready to eat and drink.
Very ready. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and get my pre-drink poured, so y'all know what to expect as y'all are going. I hope everyone did their homework because we got a lot to get through in these 45 minutes. But I think if you guys follow along with us, you'll be good to go. Especially if you're drinking. If you'll be drinking, you're gonna get through this 45 minutes, no problem.
Of course, naturally.
And I'm not gonna hold y'all. I've seen these shrimp and grits behind the scenes. If you weren't here for them before, it's probably not too late because they're top notch.
All right. Can we see? How does it look? Are we able to see people joining or?
I actually can't see it on my end.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just me and you, as far as we know. I guess.
Cool. You wanna give it maybe like 2 more minutes?
Yeah, it's 102. Let's give it like two more. Right. I think they're still wrapping up the advocacy session.
Okay, cool. For those of you who still might need a couple seconds to finish those last minute homework tests that both I and Alex had, this is a great opportunity to do so. Hey, Instagram. Oh, I can wave back. Hold on. Oh, God, I got too much going on, but I'm excited. Hey, y'all. What's up? All right, cool. Cool.
All right, so for those who are joining and drinking, now will be the perfect time to get your blender ready, slice your watermelon, get that ready. We're gonna start with the mimosa because what is brunch without mimosas? So
right.
Want to make sure y'all are ready to hit the ground running.
And for those of you who are joining and cooking, your shrimp should be peeled and deveined. As you can see, mine are not. So I'm still finishing my homework.
Knife sharp.
My knife is sharp though. My knife is sharp. I have my celery and my onion already cut here, diced. That should be already prepped. Your blackened seasoning should already be mixed up and made. I gave that recipe. Your sweet potato should be peeled.
Yeah, Jabari put y'all to work. I hope y'all are ready.
Well, we only got an hour, and I don't want to work us too hard. So
here we go. So it's about 1:05 now, so we can go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Alex Hooks. I'm gonna be your mixologist for the hour. It is an honor, honestly, to have been approached by the gift committee, and it's my pleasure to serve as the corporate liaison for the gift committee for the class of 2014. So excited about that. And it is honestly a bigger pleasure for me to be sharing the stage with the man of the hour, Chef JB himself. So I'll give you a second, Jabari, to introduce yourself. Tell them what we got going on.
I am Jabari Butler, affectionately known as JB, and I am here today to help raise money for Howard University, foremost. I am also honored to have been asked by the Howard University class of 2014 gift committee on their road to $100,000 to raise between now and 2024 for the university. So I've always, although I am a member of the class of 2013, I've always admired the way that the class of 2014 can come together and organize not only for themselves, but on behalf of the university and the legacy of the university. So let's keep that in mind as we're having fun eating and drinking today.
100%. And I mean, I think this is a case in point. You being from another class, like we wouldn't be able to do it without our collective community.
Absolutely.
So, of course, let's not forget why we're here. As Jabari said, we're here to donate. Let's get this endowment started off on the right foot. The text to give link is going to be in the chat. Please follow that link. Donate throughout. If you're enjoying what we're showing you all, please do. Let's dive in and actually talk about the equipment that we're going to be using today so we can go ahead and get started. So for me on the drink side, hopefully you have all of your simple syrups put together. Hopefully you had a bunch of mason jars. I strongly recommend an empty dishwasher or a clean sink so you can move through these dishes.
Right.
You're going to want your cutting board, a knife. The glasses that you're going to need for our drinks are champagne flute. You're going to want an old-fashioned glass and either mule jar or a mason jar, whatever floats your boat. And the alcohols that we're using today are going to be your champagne of choice, which is what we're going to start with. We're using Uncle Nearest whiskey, one of my personal favorites, as well as some Absolute vodka, which of course is the planet Earth's favorite vodka. Grab your shaker, your muddler, and your fork, and you'll be good to go. What about you, Jabbar? What do you need for the shrimp and grits?
So as I already mentioned, there was a little bit of homework. Your celery and onions should already be diced. I'm using one of my bowls for that. Your shrimp should be peeled and deveined. Your sweet potatoes should be peeled. You should have already made your blackening seasoning. And then we're going to get to a bell pepper and corn. I'm going to break both of those down. You should have your lemon, half a stick of butter, high heat oil, scallions, small pot, medium pot, and a skillet as far as the cooking. So we'll be using 2 eyes over the course of the day. And if you're ready to get to it, I am.
All right, let's do it. So while you're prepping to get the food going, let me walk everyone through our first drink recipe, which is going to be the watermelon mint mimosa. So as I said before, make sure you have all of your watermelon cut. This is going to be where you all at home are blending and straining. But since I'm on live, I went ahead and did that already. You're going to blend up your watermelon juice, mix in your mint simple syrup, which hopefully you did your homework and made ahead of time. And you're going to finish with basically a syrupy watermelon juice with some mint leaves in it. To actually make your drink, all you're going to do is pour about a quarter champagne flute worth of your pre-made watermelon juice, and you top it with your champagne. And now you have a mimosa to follow along with JB as he gets us started with the shrimp and grits. So what should everyone be doing that's cooking at home?
So the first thing that you're going to be doing if you're cooking at home is breaking down your sweet potato. My sweet potato is not that large, so it won't take us too much. But cut it in half first. I can move this for my to create a flat surface. And then from here, break it down into smaller sections. I'm doing 4 on both sides. And then I'm taking these sweet potatoes and I'm putting them in the small pot. And I'm going to cover the sweet potatoes with water.
Okay.
And get that water going on high heat. And then for the grits, anytime I'm making grits, rice, pasta, I honestly just follow the package instructions. Don't, sometimes
fancy.
I'm familiar with those, but don't make it complicated. The grits that I'm using are Bob's Red Mill. I have used Quaker grits in the past, but these I find, I don't know, they just are a little bit of a better quality. So the ratio to make these for me is going to be 3 to 1. I need 3 cups of water to 1 cup of uncooked grits. So I'm going to get that water boiling, and that's pretty much the first step. Alex, already, you got your first drink going, right?
I did. So what we have now is we want to start prepping for our second drink. So this one is going to be a little bit more involved. That's going to be our Juneteenth Mule, which is going to be Absolute vodka. We're going to have ginger beer, lemon juice, as well as some hibiscus simple syrup, which depending on where you're from, you might have known it as sorrel or sorrel. It's a Caribbean kind of flair onto simple syrup. And while we get that going, JB, what should folks be looking for as they're move into the next step of their dish. So you said you got the sweet potatoes going. What's next? What's next?
After this, we're going to go right into the veggies. We're going to break our bell pepper. We're going to break down the corn, and we're going to cut the scallions. You already have the celery and the onion. We're going to add the bell pepper to that, and then we're going to put the corn in a separate bowl. Traditionally it was eaten by fishermen often back in the day. It was something that was kind of quick and easy to make as a one-pot meal. So it is something that has a lot of history with our culture and our people. And over time, it has, been remixed as I'm doing today with the Blackened sweet potato grits. That was elevated just a bit, but it is something that has been a part of our culture for a long time. I know you two of the drinks, or if not all of the drinks that you're making today, are red. And I've done a bit of research on what exactly that red color means to us as Black people when we're eating watermelon or red grape. And it's more than just a stereotype in the color, but it has some meaning to us in our culture. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the significance actually of the watermelon in our first drink is, watermelon is actually native to Western and Southern Africa. So this fruit, the one that was used to celebrate once Juneteenth became recognized in Galveston, Texas, it wasn't just one of the stereotypes that we see today, but this is actually ties back to our ancestral roots. This was a fruit that folks were comfortable with, that they knew how to use, and that they were excited to use when it came time to celebrate. And similarly, with our next drink, which is going to involve the hibiscus simple syrup, actually hibiscus leaves and hibiscus tea was one of the favorites of the West African culture throughout time, as a matter of fact. So that hibiscus flavor, that sweetness, that kind of cranberry tartness is one that's kind of representative of the flavors that are enjoyed over on the western side of Africa. So trying to bring some cultural relevance, right, in that red color for Juneteenth, but also a little bit of historical significance into each of these drinks. So hopefully you all are ready. You got your hibiscus simple syrup ready, and you're ready to get this mule going. So I'm gonna go grab some ice, and we can start pouring things into our shaker so we can get our first cocktail. So this is for the person who's not, who's not necessarily here for the champagne. They want to get a little buzz going through the middle of their Saturday. This will be a good one for you. Nice crisp summertime drink with the fresh hibiscus simple syrup. It's nice and sweet. It'll be good to kind of get you through the middle of the day. So what you want to start with is 2 parts of vodka. One of the things I've learned in preparing for this event is that drinks are all about proportions. So it doesn't matter if you have the fanciest shaker or all of the fancy drink things. Just use what you have available and be consistent. So if your part is a small shot glass like mine is, just make sure that you stay consistent with those parts throughout the recipe. From there, you're gonna go for 2 parts of ginger beer. I like to put this in early because it's pretty fizzy. You don't want your shaker to explode. Then you go 3 parts of your hibiscus simple syrup. 2, 3. A little bit of lemon juice. So it'll be 1.5 parts lemon juice. And then you're gonna shake vigorously for 30 to 60 seconds. Kind of depending on how your arms are feeling after Dre's workout. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and shake this bad boy up. And JB, tell people what they should be looking like over the stove right now. So it looks like you're about to get to dicing up that pepper and the corn that you mentioned earlier.
So you should have both pots on right now while you're warming up both of the pots. I started with 1 teaspoon of salt or kosher salt, and from there I will decide if I want to season it a little bit more. I like to season it every step of the cooking process. So in the water that my cooking is in, and then seasoning the water that my grits are in are beginning to level those flavors. Okay. So you should have your blackened seasoning already mixed. And at this point, I want to take about 1.5 tablespoons or so of that blackening seasoning and put it on the shrimp that's already prepped.
Okay.
And just make sure that it's well coated. Let that kind of marinate for the next few minutes as you prepare to put that on the stove.
And so now you say it's going on the stove. How hot should things be right now? Like, I've always heard, you want to keep it low and slow, especially when it's things that are a little more delicate, right? But like, I mean, what about this dish with the shrimp and grits? Should we be low and slow, or are you of the grain that Fast and Furious will work for this recipe?
So for this recipe, right now, both of my eyes are on high. And I'm doing that because I'm looking to get to a boil. Now, once it starts boiling for my grits, I will take that temperature down. And honestly, for my sweet potatoes as well, I will take that temperature down just a little bit so the water is not boiling as violently. I'll probably turn my sweet potatoes down to a medium high, and then I'll turn my my water for my grits down to a medium as I'm standing over them, whisking them to make sure we, are paying attention to them, getting that good consistency. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like just being pretty attentive. It sounds like it's kind of the overall theme for the shrimp and grits. Got it. And so what about the folks who don't have that specific brand of grits that you mentioned? Like if I'm ready to break out whatever's in my cabinet, would that be okay?
Absolutely fine. If you have your grits instead, or if you want to use pizza, that's also your service that you have. Totally fine with that. You can still fold the whipped sweet potatoes into those grains and get that good texture and flavor.
Okay. All right. Cool.
How you looking over there with that second drink?
Look, man, it's looking good. So what we have here is our Juneteenth mule, right? You should have your nice red color from the biscuit syrup. I put a oversized ice cube in here so it doesn't melt too fast. But it's nice and crisp. You can go ahead and garnish with some fresh mint if you want. That's kind of one of the key flavors throughout the day is going to be that mint syrup. So yeah, so you are good to go. And honestly, from here, you really want to start prepping for your next drink, our last drink. One of my favorites is going to be the Uncle Nearest whiskey strawberry smash. So, if you're not drinking champagne and you're not the biggest fan of vodka, this is the one for you because the strawberries come through and they really tell a great flavor story. So from here, as you're sipping on your second drink, you want to go ahead and get your strawberries together. Because you're going to need to hold those. Grab your normal simple syrup. So we've used our mint at this point, and we've used our hibiscus simple syrup. Grab your vodka. Start to kind of clear up your workstation, as I'm going to be doing here while we prep. And it looks to me, Jabari, like you are back over the stove. So are you?
So I was getting ready to show how we're going to break down the veggies, but my water is starting to boil for my grits, and I really want to pay attention to that.
Let's do it.
I want to put those grits directly in and turn that heat down to a medium. And stand over them, stirring them constantly. The thing about grits is paying attention. You don't want to, and this constant stirring is giving you that, because you're not having any lumps, you're not letting it cook to the bottom of the pan. Wait for a quick second, it's okay, but you need to get back to it and make sure that you're showing those the attention that they need. As they continue to cook and the consistency starts to bind a bit and they get a little thicker, when you get towards the end, that's when we'll add some of this half stick of butter that we have. So,
Okay.
I have those going. I'm going to be whisking those, but I'm just going to also show you really quick how we can break down the pure corn. For those of you who are using frozen, it's fine. If not, you can take the corn here, peel the skin off, take all of this silk out from in between the kernels.
The silk.
Yes.
So this is you're really a chef. You're gonna use all the pro terms and everything. Okay. Silk, learning something new.
Yes. Hopefully we learning a few new things today.
For sure.
So I'm gonna cut both ends off. And then from here, to have a flat surface, I'm going to go with the larger flat surface, and I'm going to cut down like so. And now that I've cut down here, I realized that I was a little closer to the root of them when I was at the top. Then when I was at the bottom, I'm not catching as much of the kernel I know. So now I have an idea of how deep in I should be with my knife when I go down to the second round.
I've never seen corn cut like this before. This is
so first time for everything.
Wow. I've absolutely been doing it all wrong. So one, I appreciate you for that. I'm definitely taking that with me from this session.
All right. So this is gonna go in a separate bowl here, my corn. And I'm gonna get back to this grits.
Okay. So again, everyone, just a quick reminder of why we're here. So we're here to raise money for the Class of 2014 endowment. We're looking to give it out in 2024. The goal of fundraising $100,000. So, if you have it in your heart, you're enjoying what you're seeing, please use the link that is in the chat and donate. Give to our endowment fund. We really want to kick it off and start on a strong foot here today.
Next, we're going to break down the bell pepper. So You're going to cut off both the top and the bottom to create a flat surface.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we only need a half cup. So I probably won't be using all of this bell pepper, but I will show you how to break this down into segments. So from here, you have your flat surface. You're going to cut a slit into the side. And then from here, we cut off this section. And we're going to go with our knife. Cut out that membrane. And then kind of the same thing with the rest of our membrane here. You're going as close as you can to the flesh and like cutting around those seeds.
It never works out for me that way, but it's like, since it just worked out for you, I'm gonna take your word for it.
I promise it's not
way smoother than it ever is for me over here in this kitchen.
Well, my grits are starting to thicken, so I'm gonna turn them on low. And I see my water is boiling for my sweet potatoes, which is a good thing because we want those completely soft. So again, we're only doing a half cup on the green pepper. So I'm gonna probably take this section, and it will likely be enough. So I'm gonna cut those into strips. And then from here, just turn 90 degrees. How are we looking on time?
No, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. It's about 125 according to my watch. 120.
Nice. All right.
All right. So for all of my drinkers, just to kind of give you a heads up of where you should be right now, I am hulling and quartering my strawberries because, like I said, the next step is going to require us to muddle. So it'll be a little easier to muddle with smaller pieces. Just an FYI. So hopefully you're cleaning and chopping as you are going.
So a lot of people may be familiar with the French term mirepoix, which is the base for a lot of recipes. A lot of times when you're making soup or stock or things like that, or it's called the onions, celery, and carrots. And this is in classic French cooking. But there are different variations of a mirepoix or a holy trinity as you move to different regions. So for Cajun cooking, instead of the carrots, it's green pepper. So celery, onion, and green pepper, because we're going for a Cajun food for our shrimp and grits today, that's why I'm using this instead. You should not have all of your peppers chopped. It's probably too much corn. I'm going to measure that out so we can only have the half cup that we need. The corn and pepper, because we're going to throw that in the pan last.
Okay. And this is the same base that's going to be in your jambalayas, gumbos, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And so then I know you mentioned earlier too about like you're of the school of thought, like you season throughout the meal. So is now too late to kind of, need to throw a little razzle dazzle in there, or like is this throwing in this mixture kind of like the last hurrah for the seasonings?
So we're gonna saute these peppers in this corn up at the end and put them on top of our shrimp and grits.
Okay.
So it's adding another element, because it's adding another ingredient, but it also is in another element to the dish as a whole. But it is also adding another level of flavor. So we're gonna use a little bit of our Blackened seasoning when we do saute that up, but we're not sauteing them and obliterating them and taking all of the nutrients out of them. They will be still kind of crisp, which will add, a good complement to the softness of the grit.
Right. And it'll still be nice and distinct on top of. Okay. All right. Sound like you know what you're talking about, Jabari.
Sound like you with me, Alex.
Right. Look, I make drinks in the kitchen, so I see stuff sometimes.
All right, so just a quick tip for anybody who has their sweet potatoes boiling. I noticed that mine are starting to get soft, but they're not quite to the consistency that I want. So I'm breaking them down with my fork so they can be in smaller pieces and boil a little quicker. And my grits are to the consistency that I want right now.
So they've been adequately loved, Sean. I'll get the wrist work.
And I didn't put anything in it but salt, but it's just something about grits. It's just so hearty and comforting and all of that. It just reminds me of home. I'm gonna put my grits to the side and I'm gonna fold the whipped sweet potato into the grits once our sweet potatoes are ready. Okay. I've taken my grits off the eye and I have moved my skillet to the eye that my grits was on, and I'm gonna start getting that pan hot because we're gonna go a little bit of butter and a little bit of our high heat cooking oil into that pan, and we're gonna sear this shrimp on both sides. So that's the next step. That's what you should be preparing for if your grits are ready. If they're not ready, give them some love when it's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ready to do drink number 3? How you feeling?
I am feeling pretty good.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and muddle the strawberry part for our strawberry mint smash, right? So I already have about 4 strawberries quartered already in my shaker down at the bottom. You're gonna take 7 or 8 mint leaves or more. I mean, depending on how minty you're trying to get out here. And once you get them in here, you want to smash them up. So I have another muddler that I'm repurposing, and I also have a fork nearby. Just again, because you really want to mush these down and get those strawberry juices, because that's honestly going to be what cuts the flavor and gives you a lot of that summer taste that you're going to get. So another thing too, as far as the red color in this particular drink in particular, so it's like this is going to be made with Uncle Nearest whiskey. I don't know, JB, have you heard of Uncle Nearest before?
I personally have. It's been recently though that I have, like within the past 5 years.
See, and so the reason that it's only been in those last 4 or 5 years is because Uncle Nearest's story was kind of more widely rediscovered. It wasn't rediscovered until 2016. So Uncle Nearest actually was the first African-American master distiller in the United States. And the interesting thing about it is it wasn't just that he was, one of the first Black people making whiskey, distilling whiskey. It's that he basically pioneered what we know as Tennessee whiskey. His process, known as the Lincoln County process, was one that this is actually the only thing that separates Tennessee whiskey from bourbon, which is made right over in Kentucky, the neighboring state of Tennessee. So his process, this Lincoln County process, is actually one of using charcoal from maple trees to filter out the impurities of the whiskey, which is actually accepted by food and whiskey historians as being derived from West African tradition, where they already were using charcoal to filter their water. So Nearest Green is the gentleman behind not just Tennessee whiskey overall, but he was the master distiller who actually taught Jack Daniels.
Wow.
So, right. So this little known history now is having the pleasure of coming to the light thanks to some really dedicated researchers down there in Tennessee, who just in the 4 years since this story has kind of gained more renown, have been able to discover over 10,000 artifacts that confirm and corroborate the fact that Uncle Nearest was the man. He was actually the master distiller on record at Jack Daniel's for over 15 years. So he was the man, he was that guy. And now they actually the researchers have worked with his descendants to work on and distill their own small batch whiskey, which is what we have here today, Uncle Nearest, which just felt super appropriate for Juneteenth. So then if you've been muddling along during the story, you'll see now you have a nice little strawberry mint mixture. All the juices are in there. And now you want to actually go ahead and make your drink. So you have your strawberry, you have your mint leaves in here. You're gonna start with 2 parts of whiskey, which again for me, 2 small shot glasses full. So 2 parts whiskey. You want to go 1 part simple syrup and then 1 part lemon juice. So here's my simple syrup. And then a fun thing about the simple syrup too, again, if you did do your homework, or even if you didn't, simple syrup will actually last you for a good 2 weeks. So, for all the folks who felt like they needed to break their neck to get to the store to buy some, it's literally just 1-to-1 sugar and water. And you can kind of insert whatever flavor you want. So you want to add your 1 part of simple syrup. And your half part of lemon juice. And then you are going to be ready to shake and strain. So to me, this drink is served best over crushed ice. But if whatever ice you have around is going to be fine. And this one, you're going to want to shake for a little while because those strawberry chunks can be kind of meaty. You want to make sure that the juices are really what are mixing in here with the whiskey and your simple syrup. So while I am shaking this up, JB, what should the chefs be getting ready for?
All right, so we got a few things. My sweet potatoes are soft, so I want to go ahead and strain this water. And I'm leaving in my pot maybe about enough water to cover the bottom of the pot. And then from here, I'm gonna whisk this such that it turns into a puree. But I also want to show you guys really quickly about these scallions. So if they're not the freshest and you notice that sometimes they'll have these like wilted bits on them, you can take those off. And I have here also a scrap bowl. I talked about that in my last cooking class.
Okay. So are you a composting scrap bowl?
Exactly. So I can compost with my scrap bowl. I can do stomach from my scrap bowl. One thing that I like to do personally for the preservation and like longevity of it is to, when I'm done with the scraps, take this scrap bowl and put all of the scraps into a plastic bag and freeze that plastic bag. And then next time, I put more of the scraps in the plastic bag. And then I put all of the frozen scraps into a pot with some water, and you got stock. If you just so happen to have roasted a chicken, put the chicken bones in there with all of the scraps, now you got chicken stock. So yeah, I believe in trying to use all parts of your ingredient. So tops that we cut off of the scallions, that are kind of frayed, put that in the scrap bowl. That's onion. Yeah. So I'm just gonna slice these thinly.
And it's still that same sharp knife from this morning. Same one knife?
Same knife. See,
I mean, honestly, that to me, that's a takeaway for me too, because I'll be in here cooking stuff, and I'm good to grab like 3 or 4 knives because I feel like I need to. Like I need the big one for the big stuff, the small one for the small stuff.
If your knife is sharp, you should. I mean, of course, you do need different knives for different things sometimes, but this is the same knife I use for everything today. So, right. I also have this hot pan back here, and I'm going to put maybe about half a tablespoon of butter and half a tablespoon of oil. I have regular olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil, regular olive oil. And I'm gonna do like half and half. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm getting combining the oils is making them good for hot heat cooking, but I'm getting some of that fat that I really want from the butter. But if it's butter in the pan by itself, it'll burn. If it's oil in the pan by itself, then you're lacking some of the flavors. So this gives you a little bit better. I'm gonna get going because we got about 10 minutes left, or a little left. So you're gonna sear both sides of the shrimp. You're gonna probably do 2.5 minutes or so. My pan is already hot. It's on medium high right now. Not too hot, but medium high. And you're gonna do one side for like 2.5 minutes. You don't want it to burn. If you feel like it's too hot, turn your heat down. 2.5 minutes, flip it over, get a good color on the other side. And then we're gonna put it in a bowl to reserve. I'm doing like half of my shrimp at a time. So I'm not crowding the pan as I'm doing it. I'm doing, a few at a time, move them a little bit so they don't stick to the pan, let them sear, turn it over, let them sear some more. And then I'm taking my lemon and I'm squeezing some lemon juice in there to make a little bit of a sauce with this blackening seasoning that's on the shrimp. And it's also steaming the shrimp that's in the pan. So it's going to happen quickly. That's why I'm giving you this intro, and I really want to get the food done by 1:50.
Very good. So then, while JB is getting to the money on the rest of these shrimp and grits, if you were following along, so what you want to do to finish your strawberry and whiskey smash, you want to take a lemon around the rim of your glass, dip it in some sugar, so you have your sugar rim, fill it about halfway with crushed ice. And then you can pour your mixture over it. Garnish with a lemon if so inclined. And if you are like me and you are living with your significant other, you then pass the drink to the person who's going to drink it. Please, if you have any questions, drop those in the chat. Happy to ask. I'm actually going to make me another one of those whiskey smashes because, like I said, it is my favorite. While we get to the end of JB's session, so. JB, actually, I have another chef question for you. What outside of hosting Juneteenth brunches, where can the audience find you? Like, what type of other services do you provide? Like, when should I call you when I need food?
Interesting, like quarantine story. I had a full-time job with a catering company. Obviously, traveling and meeting, they're not ordering catering, so. My team got paid off. Had about a month or so sitting at home, not really sure, kind of confused. But then at the beginning of May, I just kind of got inspired and had a little resurgence. And I sent out a survey to see what people's ordering habits have been recently. And because of the results I got from that, I'm in the process of launching my own delivery service here in Brooklyn, New York. And it will out from there. In addition to that,
deliver to Jersey. Are y'all going to be delivering to Jersey? Is the real question.
Ooh, as long as the demand is there and I can get some drivers who will go to Jersey, then yes. I'm not using any third parties. I have my own delivery drivers. I have my own insulated bags, and all of that takes some time. So it's coming. For those of you who took the survey and are wondering when it's coming, I promise. In addition to that, I had somebody reach out to me about gifting a meal to someone. It's like a belated birthday gift. And when I did that, I created a complete birthday basket. So Basket by JB is something that I'm spending some time with right now. And so this is the virtual instruction, which is this. So I have a lot going on. And I really want to be updated on the things that I have going on by going to eatwithjb.com/lessons. You can subscribe to my monthly newsletter that's starting in July.
Hey now. And look, I just want to throw my name in the hat to you directly. Once you start working those Jersey routes out, just let me know and we can figure out what makes sense. I'm trying to see everybody eat.
Data test, you are going to be the first on the list.
Look, I appreciate it. I'm just here to help, to be honest. I'll take that one for the team so that when everybody else starts ordering, you know what I mean, they're going to get that seamless, speedy delivery that I know that you're going to give us all.
Exactly.
Cool. So
I'm just going to show you guys really quick what's happening here in my pan.
Okay.
I just put that lemon juice in there, so you hear it starting to steam a bit. That's what we want. But I also don't have a lot of time, so because I really want to get this plated for y'all. I'm gonna put this shrimp to the side, and I'm gonna put a cover on it. And what it's doing when I cover the shrimp in the pan like this, it's going to continue to cook. When you take things off of the stove, there's carryover heat that always kind of comes from the stove or the oven or whatever it is you're already cooking it. The internal process of cooking is going to continue. So if you want to stop the process, you would take it directly from the stove or the oven to the fridge to cool it off immediately. But if you kind of let it keep going, that's why you let steaks rest. Because when they rest, they're still kind of moving around. They're still cooking. They're getting to the temp. That's why you take it off when it's at medium rare if you want to get it to a medium. So
then a random question for you. Does that heat transfer any differently when you're using like gas stove versus electric stoves, or hot is hot regardless of what?
Absolutely, man. Like electric stoves are trash. There's no other way for me to put that. You can't control the heat nearly as much as you can when you have gas because you're over an open flame. So if I have a flame versus a small flame, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. But with the electric stove, I have to wait for it to warm up and power might be high in my kitchen versus your kitchen. But with a flame is a flame, and we turn it on, you turn it off. That's it. So, yeah.
I didn't know this was going to be electric stove slander. I'm actually a little. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but you know, the electric stove gang over here.
The developer.
Well, I hope y'all are still following along with me, because if y'all are, this is y'all's second drink, and if you're on your second drink, I'm excited for you, because I'm telling you, every time I've finished rehearsing these drinks, I finish in a great mood. So I'm excited for everyone out there on their second version of this bad boy.
So my grits have kind of thickened up a bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to them and put them back on the heat to kind of loosen it. I also have this for transparency, so y'all can know what's going on. I had more shrimp to cook, but I got to get this out for y'all. So I took the shrimp that I'm going to plate up off the stove, and I now have another pan on the stove for my saute. So I'm going to saute. I'm getting this pan hot with, again, a little bit of butter and a little bit of oil. And I'm taking my Holy Trinity here, my Cajun Holy Trinity, and putting it directly into the pan. I have a half cup of each. Onion, celery, and bell pepper. And I'm sauteing those up. When they start to get a bit tender, it really shouldn't take long, just a few minutes. I'm going to add the corn in and then add a little bit of that blackening seasoning. While that's cooking, I'm going to whip these sweet potatoes here that I have with this little bit of water left.
All right.
Add those up and whip them so they can get a nice, creamy, smooth consistency. And I'm going to fold that directly into my completed grits. And we got sweet potato grits, we got shrimp, and we got the Cajun corn saute that's coming up shortly.
So, I mean, if I'm at home cooking, because I know when I see fold, when I'm baking, I'm intimidated. So, like, is that wrist work? How should I be ready to fold? How should I be mentally prepared?
So, folding, you're really mixing with this. When you hear fold often, it is a certain way that you're supposed to gently fold them in, but this is more of a mix. So I gave you the wrong action word.
Okay. All right.
And some people
like you're working.
There's the texture here. It kind of depends on you. I like mine smoother, so I might even add a little bit more water. If not, but some people might want to taste those chunks of sweet potato throughout. There's nothing wrong with that. Definitely kind of make this your own.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting a little color here. I like that. I'm gonna add my corn in and add blackened seasoning. It's 1:45. This is great timing.
Yeah, we are right on time. So then just again for the viewers, so we're going to be wrapping up here in about 5 minutes. You're going to want to make your way to the other stage, which I'm pretty sure is going to be linked to you in the chat feature. Please see us through to the end so you can see what this art that Jabbar is putting together. I can't wait to see it. All right. And so for the drinkers, could you let us know in the comments which drink was your favorite? I've already unabashedly told you that this strawberry whiskey smash is mine. This is probably my 5th one in like a day and a half. But I'm really curious to see what you guys like. Which ones y'all excited to try? What's going on, Carlton?
I'm trying to see what it's smelling like.
Carlton had 2 drinks. Got it.
Whenever they release the smell cam, I need to be on the first
I'm with Carlton.
Yeah. I'm like, I wish I could smell this.
2 drinks in, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. This looks like a very easy meal to make, and I do not enjoy cooking. So for me to say that, it's a really good compliment.
Guys, remember that their Cash Apps are in the stage to the right in the comments. Tip your bartender, tip your chef, donate to HU14.
As you should, first and foremost.
In that into my business current.
And that bottle of whiskey is very nice looking. I love the labeling.
All right, let's get a close up. So folks know what to look for.
You have to do like the influencers. You got to put the hand in.
Right.
JB with the flick of the wrist.
So nice.
His wrist work. I mean, see, he didn't put that in the homework that you needed to be doing. That you need to be ready to hit these.
I hope everyone on the live is paying attention to the wrist work.
And double click on Jabari if you're really trying to see, because I know I'm
watching wrist game.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all didn't see me doing so, but I tasted every step of this. I tasted the sweet potatoes after I drained them to make sure that they were seasoned nicely. I tasted my grits and I liked them. They weren't too salty, but they weren't bland. This blackening seasoning is really just a sprinkle that we're putting into this saute. My grits in the bowl, ready to go. I'm coming with my sauce. Putting that down the middle.
I feel like I'm watching LeBron come up for the last
good shot.
Yeah.
What did you say? Both of your kitchens look very lovely.
Oh, thank you.
I think a kitchen tells a lot about a person, and they look clean, and I think that's very important.
So, this is Juneteenth, and, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We know that African Americans have, predisposed health conditions, and we need to start living a healthier lifestyle. So now that we have a chef on the line, what are some small ways we can kind of cut corners to be healthier while still, eating like how us Black folk like to eat?
There are a lot of, we tend to, I think, as Black people, over season and put too much fat in a lot of what we're cooking and cooking for too long. And there are a lot of natural ways to build flavor. People need to tap a lot more into fresh herbs and, using veggie stock as a way to add a level of flavor into your rice or into your potatoes or something like that. So it kind of, it's a personal journey too, because everybody doesn't like everything, and I get that. But as you do a little bit of research and you just kind of look into soul veg and things like that, I mean, there are a lot of, I think, vegan restaurants, even in the New York area, that have a very soul food, take on things. So one of my personal favorites is Brunch, which is a soul food restaurant here in Brooklyn that, they have introduced even meat to some things and some ways of doing vegetables that I had not thought before. So being open-minded about it and not just don't think about it as so monolithic in the way that, we've done it before. There are new ways to approach it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
can you talk a little bit about the overcooking? Because, you know, I feel like that's something that can easily, like, we need the nutrients of the greens and things like that. So touch on that just briefly.
Yeah, no problem. So you can have flavor and still have nutrients. It's possible. You want to make sure that you're cooking things such that the texture has changed, and it's not raw, of course, but you don't want things to be mushy. When you're eating something that is green, you don't want it to be brown when it gets to the plate. You want it to maybe be a darker green, or even as things cook. A lot of times with vegetables, when they get to that bright green, they're at their best. That's when we know they're done. That's when you know that, you know, we're done or close to done, so you can maybe, and that's, and I was talking earlier about that carryover heat, greens and broccoli and things like that, they continue to cook. So when you see that it's that bright green, turn it off. You know what I mean? Set it aside. It's gonna continue to cook. And if you turn it off when it's mushy, then by the time it gets to the plate, you're not getting them.
You're not getting a thing, y'all. All right. Well, thank both of you guys for this session. Alex Hooks, really appreciate you. You guys were definitely a vibe together. We definitely want to appreciate y'all for that. Bilal is on now. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. I think, you know, we covered a lot of ground today. Honestly, for anyone who has been on since this morning, I feel like every session we were getting something out of it in a different way, tying it all together back to Juneteenth, with the message of unity at the end of the day. And health is wealth, Blackness. We're proud. We are trying to be active change agents in our community while still having a good time and trying to push the next generation forward. So I'm very proud of all of us and all the people that participated. This has been amazing. I'm glad we raised money. Diamond, how much money did we raise?
Thank you guys. It looks like we are refreshing the page here. We're at $279. Please, if you can, you know, go to the link that's pinned at the top and make a donation. Anything really helps. Really, I wanted to kind of close it out with Bao and Lola. Lola and I are co-chairs here for this committee, and we're so excited. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to all our participants, Tati, Carlton, Blau, everyone who's involved, Leslie, Drea. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. Tiana, thank you so much. It was great. It's so good for everybody to be here. And Blau and Lola, if you guys want to jump on in and say your last 2 cents.
That was amazing, guys. Tati and Carlton, you guys are the best MCs you could ask for. Like, y'all been doing this since freshman year, so I'm not even surprised. Like, when you guys do it.
It's a family. I feel like it's family almost.
It's like family, yeah.
Reunion.
It's a conversation with friends, truly.
It's been so much fun working with everybody. Like, seriously, if you guys want to work together, please just, like, reach out to us because it's doing a blast, like, for real.
Yeah, and we definitely have to do this again. And for everybody that was on, everyone can find a way to contribute. Like, we all have talents. That's why we went to university. Like, come on, guys.
Yes.
So, like, we need to get this money up. We need to donate more, first and foremost. And we need to figure out how to get this next generation going. I really love that. Tati, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm like, no contribution is too big or small, whether it's monetary, creativity, thoughtfulness, ideation. We can use any efforts to make the next generation better, stronger, more bright, you know, all that. Everything that Carlton said, I'm just going to piggyback off of. Because, you know, I went to Howard. I got to piggyback. I just am happy to be here. I'm happy to celebrate Juneteenth. I'm just happy that people are finally letting us be Black, be smart, be bold, be beautiful, because we've been asking that for years since we came to this country. So just happy that we're able to celebrate our Blackness in this special way with my class, my favorite class.
Yes, I love it. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna stay on for a second, talk with Bilal about the endowment, about why we're here. But Tati and Carlton, again, you're the best ever. Thank you guys so much.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Awesome.
Diamond, Bilal, how y'all doing?
Woo! Y'all. We made it.
Amazing. What an effort, y'all. All of you in the comments who were talking and just being so kind, I'm seeing them and I'm catching up with some of them. Thank you so much. This has been a labor of love, but like emphasis on the love. Like I can't, seeing y'all's comments has really like brought it full circle for me in particular. So I really appreciate that.
Well, we're going to turn it over to you. I know we have a couple of points that we want to make, and take it from here.
For sure. So throughout the day, since I spoke this morning to now, I actually decided to look at what specifically the class of 2014's giving rate was in terms of alumni participation. And so, like I said earlier this morning, it is measured by fiscal year, and we only look at undergraduate giving, right? And so, so currently for fiscal year 20, which is what we're in, the class of 2014's giving rate is 2.36%. Right. Howard's overall giving rate is currently at 11.8. We're trying to get to Claflin. Claflin is at 40%.
Okay.
Right. So, and it's Claflin. They're great and all, but whatever. They're not Howard. And so, with that, I think it's important. Like, I'm not expecting a great change in all reality this fiscal because it ends at the end of this month. But what I need from the class of 2014 is starting July 1st to June 30th of next year, that like everyone in your class gives at least $5. That will, like, $5 will change your participation rate. And then
so Bilal, getting into that, let's give a little bit of context, right? So for those of you who have just joined us or joined us later in the program and missed kind of our intro this morning, Bilal is basically our advisor throughout this whole process, right? He is working directly with the university. He's a PhD student at Howard. So we're talking to one of our own, actually, and he works directly in alumni relations. So Bilal has been kind enough to let us know that the alumni giving rate, and that is the frequency at which alumni give at least a minimum $5 donation, is that correct?
Yes.
Has a direct impact on your school's rank. So every year when President Frederick is talking to Warren Buffett and other very heavy-pocketed trustee members who are saying, why should I give to Howard? Why should I support Howard? Why should I believe in this? They're asking, what's your giving rate? Because if the product of a school is not willing to give back, it's hard to ask other people outside of this to give to us as well. So that rate of, there's about 1,500 of us in our class, I believe. I think the exact number is like 1,570. So if you can imagine if all of us gave $5 within the next calendar year, starting June 30th to June 30th, 2021, I mean, the way that would change things for us is amazing.
And we'll directly impact that. Like, I mean, we're really just wanting to make sure that we have leverage and we have stake within our university, because we have all these, corporations giving us large funding, but we don't even give back directly. So we have to really do the work and consistently do the work. And this is going to be a 4-year effort, which I'm very sure we can make it within that 4 years beforehand. But this is also a lifetime commitment, because we are in, funding an endowment, which is forever, accumulating money. And we're only going to take a percentage of that every year to give back to the class that is graduating that particular year. So keep that in mind. And we really want you guys to be engaged with us. We will try our best to make sure you guys know what's happening, how we're doing on the front end about how much is being donated. And it's actually being donated directly to the university, ensuring that we are getting that, alumni giving rate up.
Yeah.
So that is our goal. That's really what we're here to do. We only have a minute left. I'm not sure if it's going to keep recording, but I just wanted to make sure we make those points. And I think people do understand what is at stake. I really appreciate you, Blau, for being here and working with us directly. Y'all, he's been such a pleasure in the past year working with and getting the talk together. And it's really up to us at this point. We have it, all together, and it's really up to us. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Lola, anything else?
I was going to say, on that note about Bilal, I know that we're a generous people. It's not that we don't give. I think that we don't give to the university directly. And people have had their feelings about giving to the university and how that money is allotted. But we as a class have created our own endowment that we have said we want to go to the class of 2024. Upon graduating, that those students with at least 2.5 GPA who without that money would graduate, you know, we shouldn't hold them back. And so many of us took from that pot as well. So what we're doing right now is actually changing the way that people give back to the schools. We give blueprint.
We're the blueprint, y'all.
So we're about to literally change everything. We give to
no other class has done it.
We give to individuals, but we're now actually about to put the money back in Howard's hand and make Howard, you know, the university that we know it is to the public.
Thanks, y'all. I really can't say anything more. Blau, thank you. Did you have anything last to say?
I mean, I don't, but if you all like need to reach out to me, you know how to get to me. I'm definitely willing to help you out in everything in terms of in fundraising and all of that. You all have been great. And honestly, I just really hope to continue to be at your homecoming tent in the future. Because that was
$379 in. Y'all keep giving. You have until Wednesday. This link will be live. Our goal is to make $500. We're really close, so please give to that link. We'll be in touch and keep you in the loop of everything. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.
Yes.
We'll see you all soon enough.
Thank you so much, guys.